Well, for the first time, we are seeing surveillance video from inside a movie theater in Florida, where a retired police captain allegedly shot and killed a man last month after an argument over text messaging. We'll show you more of the video in just a second. First, prosecutors played the suspect's police video inside the open court today. It's day 2 of Curtis Reeves' bond hearing, and on the tape, which you're about to hear, he said he fired in self-defense.
If I had thought that I wasn't going to get beat up, it would have never happened. I was pretty confident after being hit one time that he wasn't going to stop.
Reeves is 71 years old and has been in jail since the shooting. Earlier this week, he pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. Investigators say Reeves was angry on January 13th when the victim was text messaging during the previews. Witnesses say the victim threw popcorn at the older man, and that's when Reeves pulled a handgun out. Reeves claims the victim hit him in the face and he was defending himself. If convicted, he could face at least 25 years behind bars. Steve Harrigan is live in our South Florida newsroom. And Steve, even with this surveillance video, there is still debate over what exactly happened inside that theater.
That's right, Harris. This has been a very dramatic 3-day debate in this bond hearing. We're not even to the trial yet, and there's been a lot of emotion, crying on both sides. As for Curtis Reeves, the 71-year-old shooter, he claims he was afraid for his life inside that theater. He claims it was dark. He wasn't sure exactly what he was hit with, but he knew he was up against a younger, bigger, stronger man. He claims he fired simply in self-defense. Now, the video does show, apparently, what many eyewitnesses say, that at the very least some popcorn was thrown in Reeves' direction before he fired. But the victim's widow says her husband never struck Reeves, that he had stopped texting and put the phone back in his pocket.
I put my left hand on his chest, just trying to tell him, it's not worth it, sit down, watch the movie. And that's when the shot rang out. And immediately, it didn't even register with me. I just saw like a spark and saw him go down. And from there, I didn't even realize that my finger was shot as well. I was just so worried about him.
That single shot went right through the woman's hand, killed her husband. Now she's the sole parent of a 2-year-old girl. Harris.
Well, I know it was dark inside that theater, but there were quite a few people who call themselves witnesses. They think they saw something. After the shot was fired, what happened next?
That's right. This was an afternoon showing of the film Lone Survivor about Navy SEALs in Afghanistan. There were only about 25 people in the theater. A number of eyewitnesses said immediately after the shooting, Reeves simply sat down in his chair. This while other people tried to help the wounded man. He apparently expressed remorse, saying, "I can't believe what I did." And then witnesses say his wife said there was no need to fire a shot, whereupon Reeves rebuked his wife, cursed at her, told her to shut up and not say another word. He could be facing, if convicted of second-degree murder, of 25 years in prison. Harris?
Steve, thank you very much. Let's bring in Andel Brown, a trial attorney. Thank you very much for joining us now. Good to see you today.
Thank you.
I want to get your thoughts on this. 2 days of a bond hearing, 9 hours of testimony yesterday from family and friends. Is this usual?
It's not usual, but I think in a case of this magnitude, attorneys on both sides want to make sure that they're doing all that they can to state their case. The defense has brought many of his family to show that he has significant ties to the community, that he's been there for a long time, he's not going anywhere, the type of person that he is. The state has brought in some of the victim's family to show the effect that Curtis Reeves' actions have had on other people.
What about this police interview that they played this audio from today? What do you think that shows?
Well, I think it shows a couple of important things. It shows that Curtis Reeves said he would have done things differently if given another chance. It shows that he said there's no justification for what happened today. Also, we have to consider the fact that as a retired police captain, he probably has been trained how to testify, how to answer questions, and make statements. He's had years of experience with that. So we also have to look at that when we're taking his statements into account.
Well, I know also this week with this hearing, the judge was considering the admissibility of the surveillance video from inside that theater. The defense wanted to block it. The prosecution wanted it. They played it out yesterday for the media and everybody in the court, and now that video is widely being distributed. What are your thoughts on what's on it?
Well, the video is very telling. I think there'll still be arguments for both sides, but if you watch the video, there is the alleged popcorn throw, and then immediately Curtis Reeves grabs his gun and shoots the victim, in this case. And I think the video shows that his reaction was instantaneous. It wasn't a matter of sitting back and observing and this guy trying to beat him or anything like that. It was an instantaneous reaction. The question that Mr. Reeves' attorney was raising was whether he was justified in doing that because of force used against him. And the theory he was proceeding under is that if you batter a person over 65 years of age, it's a felony. And he wants that to fit into the forcible felony category of the stand your ground immunity.
All right, Andel Brown today. Thank you very much for your perspective on this 2 days of bond hearing. We will see what happens as it opens up for new talk on Monday. We're expecting it to resume. Thanks a lot, Andel.